Welcome to I Heart Star Wars, so much. I'm Matthew Ribble and I Heart Star Wars, so much. First, he gave us Star Wars, way back in 1977, an experience that shaped the world of entertainment. Then, just 3 short years later, he gave us what remains the best big screen piece of Star Wars fiction in The Empire Strikes Back. The man created one of the most iconic, most loved fictional universes ever imagined. And yet, most fans you speak to have very little good to say about the man. But why? Certainly it can't just be the prequel movies that have created so much negativity from the fan base. Well, that's how it was for me. Back in '98, when the hype really got going for the first prequel movie, most of us felt a sense of excitement. I mean, the entire month of May in 1999, back when I was a senior in high school, I wore a different Star Wars shirt to school every day leading up to the release. I camped out in front of my local theater overnight just to get tickets. I don't know if the expectation could have been any higher, and that was where it all started to go wrong for the Star Wars fan. There's no way I'm going to be able to temper my expectations for that. This was the first saga Star Wars movie since 1983's Return of the Jedi. It was a big deal. A real big deal. And then, well, those of us who were there well remember the feeling. First of mild trepidation, then of mounting wariness as the movie plodded along. The performances from great actors like Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, and Natalie Portman coming across flat and stilted. And then we met Anakin Skywalker, played by then child actor Jake Lloyd, who, if you didn't know, has since completely unraveled psychologically. And I haven't even mentioned Jar Jar yet. Okay, so The Phantom Menace wasn't great, but surely episodes 2 and 3 would be better, right? Right? Just like the original films, the prequel movies were released 3 years apart, starting in 1999. So, take a moment and think about this. We, the Star Wars fans, die-hard as we are, entrenched in the Star Wars universe thanks to a slew of great comics, novels, and video games. Our sole sustenance in the Star Wars universe for literally years. We're now given this paltry, mediocre at best offering of a Star Wars film. The level of disappointment was nearly paralyzing as a fan. On top of it, we had to wait 3 more years in the hopes that episode 2 would somehow right the ship. Surely, after all the negative press for The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones couldn't possibly be bad. And it wasn't as bad as The Phantom Menace, arguably. Then again, in a lot of ways, it wasn't really very good either. Then 3 more years. At which point, we'd all really begun to lose hope that Star Wars was ever going to be good again. A story that revolves entirely around the ideas of hope, but the fan base had pretty much lost theirs. Okay, so in that light, fans who weren't 10 years old when they saw The Phantom Menace had some fair grievances with the film. I was one of them. For a long time, I was one of them. Back then, I'd as soon kick George Lucas in the shins as shake the man's hand. And now, at the ripe old age of 37, a lifetime spent being a Star Wars fan, I can say, unequivocally, that I feel only the deepest love and admiration for the Maker. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you should too. You may not like Jar Jar, or Jake Lloyd's portrayal of Anakin Skywalker, or midichlorians, or Darth Maul's fatally limited grasp of how high ground works, or Padme's black bondage outfit scene, or how ludicrously long the final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan was. Or, you get the idea. But remember, he gave breath to the thing we all love so much. Without him, we wouldn't have all of the fantastic memories that Star Wars has given us. The Clone Wars series that I love so much and I'm always raving about, those stories, though brought to life by Dave Filoni and his creative team, those were George Lucas's ideas. If there's someone out there who loves Star Wars more than you or I, it's George Lucas. Watching Dave Filoni talk about his sit-down sessions and long conversations with George Lucas as they came up with the stories for the Clone Wars are a big part of what has given me back my deep love for George Lucas. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about the man, the myth, the maker? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I'm Matthew Ribble, and I heart Star Wars so much. Until next time, may the Force be with you.